all started in your design workshop. In Ella saw the same design, and we both said to each other, "No, you can have it. You can have it." I ended up with the design of the peacock and the tree of life, and it went from there. I simplified the design because it was quite intricate, and drew it out on paper before tracing it onto fabric, and then I used organza to bring out the different colours of the design, because I wanted the sky, the background and the foreground to have different colours. I found some lovely threads which I found at home to do the embroidery with. At Rachel's workshop, we cut the jacket out. She was doing a jacket cutting workshop with sari fabrics. She helped cut out jackets with us, and I found a beautiful fabric which was blue, green, pink design in silk. From there, I started canthering the back of the jacket with the design that was on the printed fabric. So I canthered that design, and it made another design on the plain side of the jacket. So it came through different on the other side. When I finished the embroidery, I wanted to put the design on the back of the jacket. At first, I used the printed side, and then decided no, it would look better on the plain side. And then I had to blend it into the fabric so that the white part of the design didn't show up too harshly on the jacket before I started canthering into it. So what I did, I found more pieces of fabric, layered them on, and then I basted them on, and then canthered into the design and incorporated all the pieces of fabric around it. So it grew from there. Once the back was done, I cut the rest of the jacket out with the sleeves and the front parts and stitched it together on a sewing machine, and then decided that I didn't want to have square sleeves. I would have curved sleeves, and then I didn't have enough fabric. So then I found some more fabric at Elta, and I added them into the design and made the design curved sleeve throughout. I stitched some pockets onto it as well, because my daughter said to me, "Mum, this jacket needs pockets," and I found some more organza pieces, and I put them together on the pockets. I made it into a design feature and stitched the pockets on as well. After the pockets were on, I stitched the remainder of the jacket and used a tape. I used a tape for the inside of the jacket so I could hide the seam on the inside of the jacket. So I first basted it on and then hand stitched it in running stitch on both sides. And it went really well with the design of the jacket because it was all Kantha, and it hid the seam really well. And then I still had some of that tape left. I used the tape to stitch around the bottom of the jacket and the sleeves. I finished it off by hand stitching that down. The sewing machine was used for only sewing the main seams of the jacket together. The sleeves, the band that went at the front, the side seams, and sewing the tape around the bottom of the jacket. And the fabric that I stitched together, the plain fabrics that were stitched to the jacket as well, they were sewn on the sewing machine. And then I just camped around the design. I think it took about maybe 10 months, I think, because I had to keep putting it down, because when I was struggling with how to actually put the actual finished embroidery onto the back, and I still couldn't figure out how I wanted it. And then I kept putting it away, then coming back to it and to revisit it. And then in the end, I found it would look best on the plain side. And then I found all the different fabrics that I wanted to fade the design into the jacket. So yes, that took a long time for me. And once I got going, it was plain sailing from then on. My family kept coming into the front room, and they kept looking at me and thinking, "Oh, I've overtaken the front room. I had fabric everywhere. My sewing machine was on the table." I love hand stitching. Hand stitching is what I love to do most. It's exciting to see a finished product at the end of it.